Good morning once again, and I hope that you are all feeling well and feeling happy this morning or today. So, muna nga I welcome you again to our another topic sa to ang biotechnology nga class. So, this morning's topic is all about applied biotechnology. Okay, so welcome to Edward Opena's classroom, and I hope that you will be or you will enjoy um, or learn something sa ato ang discussion karon. Okay, so let me just go to our topic and okay, so kana siya. So, nakita ra ninyo? Oops, sorry for that. Ako lang din ko anan. Okay, tayo sa for a while. Okay, kana nakita ra ninyo? Tapos ningi padako. Okay, padako pagyud. Oh, there. Okay, so kana siya. So we are now actually this is now the last topic that we will have for this semester. Kay ako ana lang gi-join ang different applied nga mga biotechnology. So sa base ato ang syllabus, so na siya ay three different applied biotechnology. So you have the agricultural, one is the environmental, and the other one is the medical biotechnology. Okay, so ako na lang siyang gi-combine because anyway they are all applied biotech. Okay, so let's and so this is now the subtopics for this session. So you have the agricultural biotechnology, environmental biotechnology, and the medical biotechnology. And ako lang gibutangan even though nga dili ni siya part sa four main kaning biotechnology. Actually the fourth is the industrial pero lang nako kuan kay part naman siya sa agricultural. So recreational biotechnology. So ako aran ni siya but I think we can also learn about what recreational biotechnology is all about. Okay, so let's go first to the agricultural biotechnology. So remember, nga biotechnology, so if you can recall, is that is actually to help improve humanity, agriculture, using different methods and techniques para mas dako ang imuhang yield or sa imuhang mga kaning gitawag nato mas comfortable imuhang life kana siya using biological nga mga specimen, and they are categorized into four. You have the green, you have the white, you have the blue, and you have the red, diba? So agricultural biotechnology is designated as the green biotechnology. So it is the application of biotechnology in the agricultural sciences. Okay, so the primary objective is to improve food production sa kaning gitawag natong agricultural biotechnology. So the first here is quality. Okay, so ang kanang mga plants or kanang mga animals nga gi-undergo og biotechnological nga mga innovations, they should have more nutrients, they should be more resistant to pest, okay, especially sa mga plants. And of course, if ever nga moingon nga mas patamison pa or mas paaslomon pa ang usa ka product, then you can do the preferred taste by identifying the different genes for this one. And then longer shelf life. So do you know what shelf life is, di ba? When amo man di problema sa mga farmers ng good nga, by the time nga mag-harvest sila, it only lasts for 3 or 4 days. So naay mga mechanisms nga na-discover sa mga plant biotechnologies nga ipa-longer ang shelf life. Say for example, gikan ka sa bukid and then i-travel pa na nimo pila ka days ang imuhang mga products, mga crops. Say for example, naa ka sa Mindanao, ang imuhang customer is naa sa Luzon, anya i-tracking pa na nimo, and you don't know ang mga different nga mga kanabitang mga obstacles while transporting your products, di ba? So ang kanang gitawag natong longer shelf life is that mas mataas-taas ang ihang pagka-storage nga dili mga lata. Okay, so that's actually part of agricultural biotechnology. What else? Quantity, so more yield or more harvest. Okay, sa una mo harvest lang og tag sa ka kilo, so what if himo nang tag 5 ka kilo, di ba? So sa unang mga panahon, say for example 1920s, 1930s, ang mga rice farmer is once a year lang na maka harvest sa ilahang humay. Okay, But because of biotechnology, nanay katulo usahay kaupat ng mga harvest usa ka year. So that is actually more yield can be harvested, and then advantageous na siya para sa mga farmers as well as sa katong mga consumers. 'Di ba? Kay kanang sa economic nga side. So, 'di ba sa kanang gitawag nato nga law of supply and demand. So mas daghan gani ang supply, say for example daghan ang bugas or daghan ang isda, daghan kuan. So mas less ang price. So mas barato siyang paliton. Okay, what else? Bigger crops and bigger livestocks or livestock. Okay? So mas ang mga manok mas kuan na mas dagko na. Okay? And then mas paspas na siya i-harvest. What else? Ang mga baka, 'di ba? So hinana siya. So bigger crops nimo, mao to kung gi-mention ganiha nga ang pakaw sa una sa mais is gamay lang, karon ang pakaw niya is dagko na. So that's actually biotechnology. Okay? So that's agricultural biotechnology. So we also have to remember that agricultural biotechnology has been practiced even during the ancient times and long before molecular biology. Diba? Kato atong mention sa una nga, ang mga tao, gikapoy na sila og kanang, unsa na, hunt, di ba? Hunters na to sila. So, gikapoy sila hunt. Unsa, ingon sila nga, manakop na lang tao kaning gitawag natong mananap, atong prisohon, atong padaghanon, hangtod ana nga, di na ta magkuan. Mo na kato akong gipang post akong Facebook nga kanang gitawag natong innovative laziness. So kung wala sila magtinapulan, then we don't have any biotechnology, di ba? So ingon sila nga kapuya na pod og kanang maghulat ka og kanang bitang magsuri-suri ka mangita ka og prutas. What if ang prutas imong itanom duol sa imong balay, di ba? So hinana siya. So ganahan sila nga kanang mas comfortable ang ilang life. That's actually biotechnology. Mao na ang iyahang gitawag nga one of the objective of biotechnology. So, it could address, kaning itong green biotechnology, could address global hunger and malnutrition as population increases. So, later on, ato anang i-discuss. Okay? So, take a look at the result of this biotechnology. Okay? So, kini siya, di ba? Ang cabbage. Sa una, mao ni ang wild cabbage, mao ni ang cabbage karon. Di ba? So, ang cabbage, ang broccoli, unsa pa, ang kanang pechay, I think pechay, they are coming from, or cauliflower, they are coming from the same plants, pero because of kaning specialized breeding, okay, kanang i-hybrid nimo or specialized breeding, gipangitaan nila og way ang mga plant biotechnologists nga ma-maximize ni nga. Say for example, ganahan kag sa leaf sa ani. Okay, so gi-maximize nga mao na siya ang hitsura karon. So i-compare na inyang leaf, it's different. Di ba? That's biotechnology. What else? This is wild banana. Kaning sa inyong right. Kini, mao ni ang wild banana. Kinsa may ganahan mo kaon og saging nga dagko kay liso. But this is the wild banana. Okay? But kung i-compare nimo ang banana karon, say for example, lakatan man siguro gyud ni siya. Okay? Kung i-compare na nimo, mas tamis, mas gagmay liso, and that's actually a product of biotechnology. Now take note ha, again, remember is dili kinahanglan og kanang mogamit ka og katong molecular scissors, katong shotgun, katong restriction enzyme to achieve this one. Remember nga this was already practiced long before molecular biology was even born. Okay? So makita nimo nga naagyoy desire ang mga tao sa una nga mo cultivate or na by desire ba nga mas dagko ang yield, mas lami siya kaunon para mas comfortable ang imong kinabuhi. Okay? So, naa siguro gihapon kung makita nimo mga saging-saging na ay mga dagko nga liso, pero ang mga tao were breeding banana, i-reduce ang iyahang size sa seed at the same time is gipataas siya. Okay? So that is just banana and kani siya isa kaning gitawag tong cabbage. What else here? This was a portrait sa watermelon before. Okay? And because of plant breeding, okay, this is now our watermelon today. So dagko ka ilang liso sa una, karon gagmay na lang. Nagay uban halos wa nay liso. Diba? That's actually crop breeding. What else? Grapes. Okay, so this is the wild grapes here. Okay, makita nimo ang iyang kuan, and this is now the grapes that is kanang naaniagi siya og biotechnological nga process. So you see there is actually a huge difference between the quality and the quantity of these products. Okay, so I myself is na ako'y nagtanong ko grapes and I am very happy nga namunga nang yo at last. almost 1 year or more than 1 year na akong attempt. So nakabunga na gyud ako ang grapes. So mo na nga ang kanang mga gipang tanom nato karon sa say for example mga farms, especially katong mga farms nga dinagkuay na industrial grade na gyud nga mga farms, they are actually much happier if naa siya biotechnological nga mga crops. Okay? What else? Here, apple. Okay? So, ang wild apple here, and this is now the apple that we have today. Okay? So, that's biotechnology. Okay? Without any CRISPR, without any restriction enzymes involved, purely kanang breeding, crop breeding lang. Okay? And of course, giubanan na siya og kanang gitawag nato nga observation and kanang strict ang pagka-monitor sa data. Okay? And at the same time, not only that, nga gipadag ko ang mga apple, but gi-produce pa yun nga ang isa ka apple is pwede pa siyang naay mga different variety depending on the preference of the breeders. Okay? So, depending on the preference. So, ako ang nakita gahapon while I was finishing this topic here, nga there are more than 500 different apple varieties existing today. Okay, 500. Out of one, di ba, malos-malos man siya. Out of one is makaproduce ka different variety. So that's actually improving the quality and the quantity of agricultural products. What else? Chicken, di ba? So daghan kayo ang breed sa chicken. Kaya bitang uso na biya kaya karon ka ng mga kanang nasa pungko-pungko ba, di ba? So chicken breeds. So mga galos man sila. So there are different types. So say for example, all types of farm poultry percentage pating daghana na. Okay? And then ang iyahang ang mga manok karon mas dagko, mas dali siyang i-harvest, di ba? And not only that, nga pwede po siyang aside from being consumed or aside from consumption purposes, okay? Some breeders are actually specializing in cockfighting. Kana bitang mga sunoy, mga itatari. Mas paspas, mas abtik, mas kuan. So, but I'm not actually into that. Kanay siyang chicken nato. Ang uban gani nga nindot na kay tan-awon. Ang atoa kang nailhan kini mga common sa Pilipinas ba, mga manok sa Pilipinas, mga native chicken. Okay? So, breeders are actually doing that. So, sa una, 'di ba kanang mga poultry, you can maka-imagine mo sa una mga itlog kana ra man ng kana bitawng pangitaon lang nimo kung asa ng itlog ang manok mao nimong sudanot. Pero karon pwede na kang kanang mga poultry nga pag dinaghan na tagpila ka itlog ang ma-produce per day. That is actually product of biotechnology, di ba? And then what else do we have here? Kaning mga cows. Kaning mga cows. Mga Bos Taurus, if I'm not mistaken, yung there are already different varieties of cows nga gina-farm karon throughout the world. Okay? So naay mga cows nga kanang mahal kaayo, kanang I don't know sa nagigitawag nilang basta nakoy nakita nato nga mga chef nga tagmahal kaayo, tag $1,000 ang per kilo sa ilahang beef. Okay? So kani Angus, di ba kanang sa corn beef nato, red Angus wala ko kailaan ning uban, basta baka na siya. So kani Brahman, pinaka common sa dinis Pilipinas, Texas Longhorn. Kasi so you see, the point here is that you can actually look for some of the desirable traits and make hybrid out of it aron makakuha ka sa kung unsa imong desire nga traits. Okay? So now this is not just kaning mga hinani, dili lang ni siya kay kanang gitawag na tuglingaw-lilangaw lang sa mga tao. No, it's not. Instead, they are actually doing this because they are aiming, kaning mga breeders na to, they are aiming to increase yield and to increase iyahang production. At the same time, ang quality sa ilahang mga products. That's agricultural biotechnology. Okay? So you can go to fishes, you can go to kanang mga mais, you can go to other fruits and vegetables, and they are actually having the same objective, and that is to improve the yield. Okay? So what else? Some approaches in agricultural biotechnology is to address pollution. Okay? So some approaches though ako paning gi-address later on. So for example ana, so why do people do biotechnology? Say for example sa farm, sa mga animal farms. So cattle contribute more carbon dioxide than all operating cars globally. So sige lang tag-ingon nga kanabitawng um, kanang use of fuel, kanang mga smog nga nasa tong cities, and we are actually telling or we are actually convincing ourselves that these cars nga nag-use og fossil fuel mao nay tipulyo sa ating environment. But cattle, kanang mga cattle farms contribute more carbon dioxide than all operating cars globally. And aside from that, they also consume lots and lots of groundwater. Okay? So yun na siya. So meaning to say, some of the agricultural biotechnology approaches are actually to address the environmental issues. Okay? So some companies develop lab meat. So mao ni ang one of the ways nga ilahang one of the methods nga ilahang gikita nga pwede maka-address sa environmental concerns sa agricultural nga sector. Okay? So kanang gitawag natong lab meat. Okay? So lab based meaning to say walay actual animal nga nabuhi, only a specific tissue ang ilahang gi-culture, and then ang tissue is no grow inside a petri plate, and then or whatever container they have, and then mao to ang ilahang i-market. So some people katong nagpractice sa kaning lab grown meat reports that lab grown meat are tastier and meatier. Okay, so say for example here, kana siya lab grown meat. Okay, so actually it's already in the market. Okay, some people are actually buying it. Okay, so how cultured meat is made? So number one here is all you have to do is to remove some tissue. So in this case muscle tissue kay mao may gina-consume nato. Okay, so muscle tissue specifically isolate the stem cells, and we know stem cells they can actually specialize into any other cells, but since nga na siya muscle tissue, so most likely it can develop muscle tissues. Okay, and then plant-based serum, so another plant na akay gikuan din ha, nga plant isagol din ha. And then muscles grow. Okay, take note ha that they are actually living cells, only that they are confined in a very controlled environment. So muscles grow, and then these muscles are being processed, and now you can eat. Okay, so meaning to say, even with a single kanisya stem cell man siya, and since kato kong mention din ganiha nga they are living organisms, so kining group lang of stem cells is pwede pa na siyang mupadaghan og maayo. Okay, pwede pa siyang mupadaghan og maayo. So meaning to say, just a small portion of this living organism gi-isolate nimo, and then maimohang gihimo to make meat. Okay, pero dili gid entire animal, then you have now the product. Okay, so gamay lang na siya ha. So you can save lots and lots of water, you can save lots and lots of land, and of course you can save lots and lots of animals. Okay, so lab grown meat. Okay, so when you say global hunger, kini siya, global hunger is also aimed. Okay, so okay, let me just check. Okay, so global hunger is also aimed by agricultural biotech by increasing crop yield. So mo na kung gi-mention ganiha, bigger crops and more resistant to environmental stressors like pest, kanigyud mo gyud mga kontra sa mga farmers nato, flood, especially sa lowland, drought, and of course pressure. So mao na nga kung ato ka sa mga katubitang daghan o kanang gitawag nag incident sa hunger, kay gamay kaayo pag or dili kaayo advance nga pagka-develop ilang agricultural sector, because say for example sa Africa, di ba, rampant ang kanang crop destruction dito. So siguro sa ilang types of kanang sa ilang yuta or sa ilang program yun mismo sa government, but there are also those areas nga maglisod yun patubo sa ilang crops. Okay, because of the environment where they live. So say for example arikas mga deserted areas, di ba, or bisan gani din sa Pilipinas na ay mga challenges ang atong mga farmers, say for example pest. Okay, so scientists, plant biotechnologists are actually looking into some of the solutions that can address this issue. Nga what if we can grow plants that are pest resistant, say for example rice black bugs, di ba, common kay na din sa Pilipinas ang rice black bugs, especially Kung you are familiar with plants or kaning sa farm, especially sa kaning rice fields, ang rice black bugs is mo suyop na siya, mga beetle ni siya and then iyahang suyupon ang sap gikan sa stem sa kanang rice. Okay? So once nga ilahan ng suyupon, sila ang manambok, ang plants dili. And it can actually decrease the harvest of the farmers. Okay? So biotechnology, plant biotechnologists are actually addressing this issue. So what if we can put something in these crops nga dili ma-attract ang mga rice black bugs? Maybe the plant can produce a little thorn, or maybe this plant can produce a little scent or kanang smell nga makapa-discourage sa rice black bugs. I mean, they are actually, I believe that they are considering all these ones. What else? Kaning mga drought. So what if we can develop a plant nga gamay ra gyud kayo og water requirement, makasurvive siya pero dili ra ma-affected ang iyahang pag-produce sa fruit, okay, or sa quality sa iyang plant. Okay, so those are actually some of the things. So it can actually address global hunger. Okay, and you can just imagine pila ka thousands of people are dying at a daily basis because of hunger. Kay mao na magka-short na uban mga tao nga abunda kay pagkaon, ang uban gani sa atoha is ipanglabay lang. I mean, hinana ba, pero nay ubang mga tao kanang walay halos gipangkaon nya kita mag-usik-usik ta sa atong pagkaon, di ba? So that's one of the things that we need to consider. So aside from that, malnutrition is to be addressed. So aside from global hunger, busog tuod ka permi pero wa po'y sustansya ang imong gikaon, di ba? Mao man na din sa Pilipinas, as long as asin ray sudan, as long as toyo ray sudan, bira ng rice, piting daghan ng rice, that can actually cause malnutrition. So one of the things here, kaning gitawag natong golden rice, was developed by the International Rice Research Institute here in the Philippines. Now, I think I have already mentioned this once sa inyo, but I would like to reiterate it again, or I want to talk about this for the second time. So when you say the golden rice, mo na nga ang mga tao is mo to nga mukaon nagkanon. Okay, bahala gulay sudan ay asin ay sudan, but that can cause malnutrition. Okay, and one of the forms of malnutrition here in the country and several places around the world is kanang gitawag tong vitamin A deficiency. Okay, vitamin A deficiency. So kana siya, so ingon ang mga engineer sa kaning International Rice Research Institute. Now take note ha, nga kaning golden rice, ang Pilipinas ang nagkuana ni spearhead. Okay, and this was during the time of former President Ferdinand Marcos. So engineered to infuse beta carotene for vitamin A synthesis. Okay, so instead of carbohydrate lang ang ihang ginahimo, okay, what if nga from the ground, okay, hangtod nga motubo ang kaning gitawag natong kaning rice nga plant, is that it's already capable of infusing beta carotene sa iyahang kanang bawat butil bitaw, kanang kada lugas sa kaning gitawag nato nga rice. Okay, so it was recently approved. So pila na ka years na. So ibutang taog almost 30 or 40 years ng pag-study sa kaning golden rice. And the good news is it was recently approved for consumption. So when I was still studying my master's degree back in 2008 and 2009, okay, so people from the International Rice Research Institute went to MSU IIT, and they are actually presenting the golden rice, and they were able to show to us the process of this golden rice, and they gave us sample of the golden rice. And mao to nga we are actually excited, but during that time wala pa siya ma-approve. Okay, so here this is actually kaning gitawag natong an overall view of kaning gitawag natong the modification of different crops. So say for example sa unmodified, less energy for photosynthesis, more energy lost as heat. Mao na siya ang sa wild type nga gitawag to wild type. So modified, okay? So 15% increase in photosynthesis efficiency. Okay, meaning to say photosynthesis efficiency is mas maka maximize siya sa light. Okay? So even though ang uban man gud nga kanang gitawag natog plant nga kana bitang kung gamay ra gani kayo ang adlaw is dili na dayon kayo siya ka-produce, pero sa modified is ma-increase whatever available light is ihang maximize. So it will result to more plant growth and loss energy or less energy lost as heat. So this is now katong balik natin to sa golden rice. Okay? So mo to nga this is actually the golden rice. This is the regular rice that we have. And this is now the golden rice. And I was able to actually see how yellow or how gold is the color of this golden rice. This is now because of the presence of beta carotene nga na-infuse na sulod aning grain, every grain of this rice here. So how did we do this? Is that na asla specific nga plant, okay, nga kaning gitawag nato nga makasequester og kanang specific nga desired nga character, gi-isolate ang genes, di ba? Mao naman ni atong gi-discuss before na ay plasmid, okay? So plasmid man siya in most cases sa plant biotechnology, plasmid man siya gi-insert dito, gibutang sa agrobacteria, okay? Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and then gibutang ang bacterium sulod sa kaning plant, and then ang plant dayon ang makahimo sa kanang gitawag nato nga kaning desired trait, maka-express na siya. So kung unsay gene product sa gene nga gi-isolate dinhi, gi-insert sa bacteria, gi-insert sa plant, mao po na i-ikuan din sa plant, mao po na i-exhibit sa plant. So that's actually the overall view of how golden rice was developed, or the process of producing golden rice. What else here? National scientist Ramon Barba, who recently passed, he revolutionized the country's mango industry by developing a method for year-round harvest. Okay? So, mo na si Ramon Barba. Kaya ako na ipagamay. Yan. So, sa una, nakita ni Dr. Ramon Barba nga niingon siya nga kaluoy pud sa mga farmers nga kanabitang mango farmers nga once or twice or siguro once a year lang maka harvest sa ilahang mango. So nangita siya paagi unsaon niya nga naatay year-round production, di ba? Season ng mangga, but there are already mangoes today thanks to Dr. Barba. There are already mangoes today nga kanang tagduha or tagtulo ang iyahang harvest season in one year. Di ba? Year-round na siya. So, mo na nga, he revolutionized the mango industry. And because of his effort, he was awarded as one of the national scientists that we have. So, this makes, because of his work, it makes the Philippines as one of the world's top mango exporter. Okay? So, mo na nga, sige tang export. And, fortunately, we have the best mangoes in the world. Particularly, ang Philippine mango, which actually grows in Guimaras. So, I don't know if you have tasted how sweet and delicious Guimaras mangoes are, the Philippine mango. And of course, di po pa lupig ang mangga Cebu. Lami po ang mangga Cebu. Pero ang pinaka-chief good based on the kuan is actually the Guimaras mango. And I have tasted it for 2 times or twice or thrice already. And it's very sweet. Okay? Mao nag-ingon nila sa Guimaras nga kung naa kuno kay mangga sa imuhang tugkaran, di gyud ka magutman, which is actually true because lami kayo. And then sa Guimaras, pwede kang makadala og mangga pagawas sa Guimaras, pero di ka makadala og mangga pasulod sa Guimaras. That's how strict they are in protecting the mango industry in that region. Okay, so still in agricultural biotechnology. So though there are those who are against genetically modified organisms or GMO, yet there has been not a single reported effect in its 50 years of application. Okay? So nagay mga once in a while na kay makita nga mga protest against genetically modified organisms. Pero mao na nga even though nga pila na naka-decades nga gina-apply, pero not a single validated nga case nga maka-directly o kuan nga ma-negate ang effectiveness or effectivity of GMO. Okay? So note that GMO can be done at the molecular level or by just simply crossbreeding organisms for desired results. And mauna nga practice for several centuries ang genetically modified organisms have been practiced by several centuries. Mo to atong gimension nga animal hybrid, mag-hybrid kag animal, mag-crossbreed ka og plants, di ba? That's actually genetically modified organisms. Okay, only that nga karon nga mga times is naa kay mga molecular techniques nga gina-apply na. Okay? Mao na yung difference sa centuries old og sa karon. Okay? Though both are actually genetically modified organisms. So GMO, the molecular level started in 1973 by Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen. This is the type that some people are concerned. Okay? So naapo na sila yung mga reasons why they are against genetically modified organisms. But at the personal level, I cannot dig deep into the real agenda of those who are against genetically modified organisms. Okay? So let's go now to environmental biotechnology or the blue biotechnology. So if the agricultural biotechnology addresses the agricultural concerns of the world, then environmental biotechnology, it seeks to address some environmental concerns such as, number one here, pollution, another extinction and conservation, and sustainable energy. So pollution, there can be two. Okay, so there are two approaches in how biotechnology can address pollution. First here is the phytoremediation. This is the use of plants to clean pollutants such as pesticides and heavy metals. Another one here is microbial bioremediation, or the use of microbes to clean oil spills. Okay, so mana nga kini siya. This is now phytoremediation. So mangita ka og plants nga makakuan og heavy metals, particularly heavy metals. Okay? Or you can actually combine different traits of different plants to make a transgenic plant nga ma-maximize kiniya og clean ang environment. So say for example here kani siya, kaning yellow something. Okay? So mosulod siya, this is actually kaning gitawag nato nga pollutant. Okay, mosulod siya sa system, i-neutralize niya. Okay, so actually these are the different activities. So naay phytovolatilization. Okay, volatilization of pollutants. Okay, gi-eliminate niya. What else? Phytodegradation, degradation of organic contaminants. Phytostabilization, reduction of bioavailability of contaminants. Rhizofiltration. Okay, adsorption, take note ha, adsorption and absorption. There's difference. When you say absorption, AB, okay, is mosulod mismo ang kaning gitawag nato nga contaminants. But when you say adsorption, is naara siya sa gawas ni pilit. Okay? So, mana adsorption and absorption of pollutants from water. Okay? And then phytostimulation, stimulation of microbial activity. So, we know sa ato ang botany nga root sa plants na agyon siya close interaction with the different microorganisms around the soil or in the soil. So phytoextraction, concentration of contaminants from soil to plant tissue. So instead of these contaminants nga muadto na sa lain-laing lugar, okay, they are now contained inside the plant. Okay, they are now contained inside the plants. Mao bitaw na nga kanang gitawag natong mga mining, di ba, mining sites, say for example sa kanang Atlas mining, they are actually considering some of these kaning phytoremediation nga mga approaches. Okay? So i-identify nimo unsa ning mga plants ang makatolerate og mercury level, di ba? Mercury is one of the heavy metal pollutants sa atong environment. So patamnan na nimo if ever nga say for example giagihan na siya og mina, okay? So tamnan na nimo og known nga mga phyto nga mga remediation nga mga plants. Okay? So tamnan na nimo so that ma-eliminate or mean to say ma-contain ang mga pollutants inside the plant. So dili siya mean to say dili siya makatag, dili siya makalat. Okay? Ina na siya. So what else? Bioremediation. So say for example, oil spills, if na factory, and then or other heavy metals or other mga contaminants. So it uses microbes. Okay, mostly microbes, though there are other forms of bioremediation, but it uses microbes. So say for example here, this is the polluted water. Okay, i-inject namong microbes din ha. Okay, microbes will then interact with these contaminants. Okay, they will neutralize these contaminants, and nana sa ilahang sulod ang kaning contaminant. And once nga mahitabo na siya, then malimpyuhan nila, ma-filter out nila before it can be returned back to the environment. Okay, that's bioremediation. So in terms of oil spill, say for example, 'di ba na kanang mga ship, okay, mga barko nga it's either malunod or accidentally na oil spill. Okay, some people are kanang mga scientists are actually spraying nga kaning mga substances that contains microorganisms. So they literally eat oil. Kaning mga microbes, they eat oil. So kung naay oil spill, so imuha lang ng sprayhan og mga microorganisms din ha. They will eat oil, and then later on kung mahurot na gani ang oil, mo ta mga mo reduce ra pod ang ilahang population. Okay? So ana siya. And then what else? So biotechnology helps in conservation by so this is another portion kadi siya sa pollution na siya. So another one here is environmental biotechnology. This is another kanang gitawag na tog application of environmental biotechnology. So it helps in the conservation process by correct identification of species at the molecular level, and that's actually under the realm of the molecular systematics. What else? It monitors crossbreeding. Okay? Kaya kaning crossbreeding mo na nga if there are two species of the same genus, okay? Two species of the same genus, na sila tendency nga mag-crossbreed. So once nga mag-crossbreed na sila, tendency is ang katong two original species pwede siyang mawala. So pwede siyang extinct. Okay? And then mo to nga ang mo proliferate na lang is katong mga hybrid, the hybrid of the two species. Okay? So if we are concerned with conserving the two original species, mo na nga i-monitor nato kung unsa na ang depth sa kaning gitawag natong crossbreeding between two different species of the same genus. Okay? Kana siya. So i-monitor ang crossbreed kay aron makita nato kung unsa na ang situation sa crossbreeding or naabagyo crossbreeding between two different species. Kay what if ay ang species ay katong di ba natay to sa atong example natay to original species. What if ang species A lang ang known sa science, ang species B is wala. Okay? Nag-crossbreed sila, and then na monitor sa kuan sa kaning gitawag natong mga environmentalists, nakuhaan nilang sample ang katong ilahang ang katong generation. Okay? Ang offspring sa katong two species. Take note ha, ang species B is unknown. So makita nila nga pwede ka makasuspect either crossbreed ni siya or a new species. So mo na nga deeper monitoring ang pwedeng ma-generate. Okay, so what else? Better molecular diagnostics of diseases among wildlife. Better molecular diagnostics of diseases among wildlife. So important ka na, especially kung critically endangered na. So for example, we have this Philippine eagle. Di ba? So Philippine eagle, how many pairs? Siguro mga 400 pairs, 300 to 400 pairs na lang ang nasa wild. Okay? And kung makaadto ka, I don't know if you have visited the Philippine Eagle Foundation. So they are actually particular in the health of this captive bred or katong captive and then bred nga mga Philippine eagles dito. They are actually particular sa ilang health. Okay? So mo na nga they need to have accurate diagnostics sa ilang diseases. What else? Better reproduction approaches. I will be explaining that one in a little while. And of course, the extinction of species. And so with this one, so the extinction, meaning to say, from extinction, imo siyang ipaproliferate og maayo hinoon. So mao nang nga reverse, imo siyang i-reverse ang process. Okay? So say for example here. Okay, so in this case, certain group of parrots. So the correct identification of species can help in our understanding of how species of certain groups are distributed. Thus, more appropriate conservation approaches can be made. Okay? So, because of kaning biotechnology, we can monitor kung asa ni ang kaning gitawag ng endemicity sa certain nga species of, say for example in this case mga parrots. Okay, kay even though nga you do not know nga asa ni siya dapita, okay, but at the molecular level makita nimo nga mao ni iyang range. Okay, so maingon din ka nga unsay naa ani nga range nganong dinhira siya. So say for example kini nga species unsa may naa ani nga range. Okay, unsa ang naa ani nga habitat nga dinhi ra man siya wala sila mo profile sa other nga mga regions. Okay, so mo na nga you can better understand the distribution of these different species, and at the same time, so kung makita nimo nga naa siya din, then what if this is actually an alpha predator. Okay, so you need to protect this one because there is a presence of alpha predators. Meaning to say, kung naay presence sa alpha predators, meaning to say ang imuhang environment, ang imuhang nature is actually balanced. Okay, mao na purpose ganong nay alpha predator kay iya mang i-control ang population sa different organisms. So hinana siya. So what else? Kini siya. Tan-awon dayon nimo ang iyahang correct species. Okay? Correct identification. So mas appropriate ang imuhang response because mas accurate man ang imuhang pag-study sa iyang distribution, sa iyang genetic content, so on and so forth. What else? De-extinction. Is it possible to bring back extinct species? So, hinanay man gani siya. Di ba naman tayo mga known nga mga extinct species? Say, for example, kaning mammoth. Kaning mga mammoth. Extinct na ni sila, but we have preserved samples. Di ba? Katong mga nag-preserve sa mga glacier, nga mga na-discover. Napa dito ang tissue. Okay? Wala ma-degrade ang tissue. So, what happened is that you can extract the DNA there of, say for example, this mammoth, and then mao na siya pwedeng basihan nga ipa-bring back to life sila. Okay, so is it possible to bring back extinct species? The answer is yes, theoretically. Okay, but so far there are no reported cases nga extinct species is nabalik. Okay, theoretically it is possible. So how it is possible? And remember nga there are already by the millions na ni ang mga extinct na mga species, from dinosaurs to bacteria. I don't know bacteria, I'm not sure with that. Okay, from dinosaurs to birds to fishes, okay, to mammals. So pwede ba silang mapabalik? The answer is yes, in theory. Okay, so stages of species endangerment. So say for example, this is the thing that we are witnessing right now. So na ay decline, critical endangered, severe bottleneck. Okay, so ano ang bottleneck? Meaning to say ginagmay na lang yung kain siya, and then extinct in the wild. So when you say extinct in the wild, di nakakakitaan ni sa wild, meaning to say nana lang siya sa captivity tanan. Okay, nana siya sa captivity tanan. Okay, so degrading DNA once nga extinct na siya, so degrading DNA mawala na hangtod mahurot ng DNA hangtod nga no more DNA involved. Okay, so say for example sa kaning mga dinosaurs before, so even though nga naay mga bones, but it no longer contain DNA. Okay? But there are those extinct nga naapay DNA. So, how do the extinction proceeds? Okay? So, kani siya, since naakay kuan, dili naman ni ma-reverse yun, di naman ni ma-reverse ning walay DNA samples, pero katong na DNA samples, extract the DNA, okay? Ibutang nimo siya sa kaning gitawag og ay narad ay. Okay, so later na ko. So, how do biotechnology can help? Comparative genomics, cloning, germ cell transmission, ancient genome assembly, synthetic DNA, CRISPR genome editing. So 5 stages of the extinction. So this is now the process of how species can be de-extinct. Okay, so in silico, that's genome sequencing. Okay, so i-sequence ang imong genome after of course extracting its genes. So imong i-sequence, and then in vitro genome editing. Imong i-edit siya. Okay, so imong siyang ibutang sa cell, especially sa ovum. Ibutang din mo sa living systems. Okay? And then once nga mabuhi ni siya, mo develop ni siya into, say for example kani, this is already kanang imong gipamit ang ovum na akay viable nga ovum, gi-insert nimo siya din ha. Say for example kini nga pigeon. Okay? Pagkuana na niya is mangitlog siya. Ni successfully nga ni hatch siya. Take note ha that this offspring is already bearing the genetic content of the extinct nga species. So theoretically, if nga mangitlog and then mo hatch gid siya, so captive breeding sana siya, so i-confine sana siya, padaghanon sana siya nimo. Okay, mo na sa Philippine Eagle Foundation sa Davao. Okay, captive breeding, padaghanon siya nimo din ha. Once nga mo mature na sila, okay, hinahinay din nimo siya og release, return to the wild. That is now the in situ. Okay, in situ. So meaning to say, na-revive nimo, take note ha nga extinct ni siya pero napabalik nimo siya sa wild. So that is actually the de-extinction, and it's actually a biotechnological approach. Okay? So kana siya. So mo na nga possible? Yes, possible, but in theory. Okay, so let's go na to the biofuel, still in environmental biotechnology, di ba? So mo na tong dimension ganiha nga mahal na kayo ang gas, di ba? Sa kanang fossil fuel. So more sustainable ang kaning gitawag nato nga green biotechnology, or not green pero kaning gitawag nato og mga biofuel nga production. So it's just using sa kaning mga whatever biological products that we have to fuel our kaning ato ang mga transportation. So for example here, you have the algae biofuel production. Okay, so you have the carbon dioxide, nutrients, and sunlight, which is actually found in nature. Okay, and then ang algae, motubo ra po siya sa nature. Gi-harvest nimo ang algae, gi-dewater nimo ang algae. Okay, gi-dewater nimo meaning to say kung ano mo og water. Okay, gi-extract nimo ang oil gikan sa algae, kay ang algae mo pinakakuan, and then ang algae oil is converted to biodiesel. Kana siya. So biodiesel, or from this one here, from this stage, okay, algae is fermented. Gi-ferment nimo to become bioethanol. So these are now actually fuel. Diba? Mo nang nakay gitawag natong mga biodiesel, and I think there are already gas stations. Okay, na mga gas stations that are offering biofuel. And that's actually a good start. Though as of this moment, medyo may pagkamahalan pa gyud ang kanang gitawag nato nga not mahalan pero nihit pa ba. So gamay pa kayo, dili pa kayo full scale ang pag-produce sa biofuel. Okay, but that's a good start. So what else? In another instance, so you have this sunflower, di ba? Sunflower, natural lang ginang photosynthesis na kay crops, gi-harvest ang seed, okay, gi-extract ang crude vegetable oil, gi-refine siya, gihimo siyang gi-insertan og alcohol in the process known as transesterification. Okay, then the byproduct is glycerol, which is used in food industry, the cosmetic industry, or it can also lead to the biodiesel production, which can now turn to power kaning mga transportation group. And then it can also not only transportation group but also in the energy sector. And of course, ang byproduct ani is carbon dioxide, which can now kaning gitawag nato nga utilized by the plant, di ba? Carbon dioxide sa kanang photosynthesis, CO2, H2O, and sun, carbon dioxide. So man siya magtuyok na siya. Okay, so hina na siya. That's actually the generic concept of kanikuan. So what if ang kaning gitawag nato nga sunflower is i-kuan na siya, i-breed na siya, or i-develop siya through biotechnological approaches, nga ang iyang seed is makaproduce pagyug more oil. So dinha na makakam-in ang gitawag nato og biotechnology. Okay, so mao to ang gitawag nato nga environmental biotechnology. Okay, so dinhin nata sa last part is the medical biotechnology, or designated as the red biotechnology. So this is a branch in the medical sciences where it uses cells and cell products for effective diagnosis and drug development. So could also develop synthetic products, both organic or inorganic. So examples of medical biotechnology here, you have the stem cell, you have the gene therapy, vaccine development, and of course you have the hormone therapy. Okay, so say for example sa stem cell. Okay, so embryonic stem cell Pero kaning embryonic stem cell, this is actually controversial kay imuhamag yung samot na kung humans ni siya. Okay, the ethical conversation here is high. Ang kaning gitawag natong sa embryonic stem cells kay kung humans ni siya, kay kani imuhamag yung tangtangon ni siya, so you prevent this embryo from developing into a full human being. So ang stem cell is imuha ng kwaon, okay, and then ipa-develop na. Remember that stem cells, they are unspecialized cells, so they can specialize in whatever their body needs. So they can be cells to form the ectoderm, which involves the skin and the nerves, or the mesoderm, the bones and the muscles on the endoderm, the soft tissues, and the digestive organs, respiratory tract, etc. Okay? Or if adult na, okay? Kung adult na and then ay sakit, 'di ba? Kung sa principle ng sa immunology, if naay transplant, so say for example transplant na kidney transplant, 'di ba? And then naay donor. So naay tendency nga ang recipient is iyang i-reject, ang gitawag nitong historejection. Okay? Kay dili man to parts iyang body na may sa principles man gud sa immunology na ay self and non-self. So dili man siya part sa self, so iyang i-reject. So what happened sa kaning stem cell approach sa kaning treatment is that you have here the bone marrow. Okay, so sa bone marrow, take note nga ang blood cell production, stem cells, daghan kayo ang stem cells sa bone marrow. So extract ang stem cell and then imuhang ipa-specialize kung unsay needs sa imong body. So, say for example, na kay conditions sa imong white blood cell, either lymphocytes, neutrophils, and other types. So mo to imo ipa-develop sa lab and then i-inject nimo dito. Okay? Or red blood cells, kulang kag red blood cells, so padaghanon i-culture sa lab, padaghanon. Or stem cell can also produce or could become platelets. Okay? So say for example, kanang mga tao nga thrombocytopenia, di ba? Kanang low ang ihang platelet count. So inject ka lang na nimo. Okay? Coming from your own stem cell. So that's stem cell therapy. So stem cell treatment process involves here the extraction, in this case adipose tissue, separation of stem cells, then cultivation, gi-cultivate, then gi-reverse. Okay? Sunod, introducing them to become specific cells, mga kong gi-mention sa inyo, depende sa imong needs, imong body, and then infuse of stem cells. Okay? So as of the moment, ang kaning gitawag nitong stem cell therapy, kay since it involves high level of kaning laboratory nga mga activities, so expect yung ka nga medyo mahal-mahalon pag yun siyang stem cell. Okay? Kaya siya mahal pag yun siya. So siguro limitation, and then there will be a day nga medyo barato na ni siya. Okay? So we have here the in vivo therapy or the ex vivo therapy. So in vivo, take a look at this one here. Non-viral delivery system. Okay, so nanoparticles that can potentially be used for HCC. So gi-deliver din ha, and then viral delivery system, viruses currently being used for HCC gene therapy. So this is now the gene therapy. Okay, so from the body, out from this one is naakay gitawag nga production or activation of genes. So what happened here is that naamang kay mga gipang insert din here. What happens here is that imong gi-isolate ang cell from the patient. Okay, and then pag-isolate nimo, especially kani mga cells involved in the response of this delivery system sa drugs. Okay, gi-modify nimo in vitro. Okay, sa vial. Okay, pag modify na-modify na siya, cells are injected back into the patient. Okay, so if ever nga, say for example, this is kaning a disease causing microorganism, and then wala dili kayo ka produce og kaning gitawag nato og defense mechanism, so imuha lang ning kuhaon katong mga involved nga cells nga maka-interact ani, gipadaghan, gipamodify, i-harvest, i-inject og balik. Okay, so inana siya. So what else? Okay, so another here, so in another aspect sa medical biotechnology, sequence viral and host genomes, just like what happens sa ato ang COVID karon. Okay, and then select vaccine targets based on bioinformatic analysis. So na bioinformatics, i-analyze nimo ang data, statistics, so on and so forth, molecular docking, whatsoever. Okay, And then i-clone nimo ang vaccine target, express and purify vaccine target. Okay? Kay say for example this is the virus. So say for example this is a vaccine. So which of these vaccines ang maka-eliminate ani nga virus or mo interact ani nga virus aron na elimination. So wa makakibalo ana. So mo sa nang i-purify. So i-test nimo kinsa ani ang mo interact. Kung mga matay gani ni, na mga matay aning mga ilaga, okay, that means to say wala mo work ang vaccine. Pero kung makasurvive gani siya, that means to say the vaccine works. So among these three groups, na kay green, na kay red, na kay blue, ang green ug ang red is nangamatay, ang blue survive, meaning to say ang kini siyang gitawag na kung gi-develop ni mga vaccine is effective against this virus. Okay? So meaning to say na ay percentage nga it can also work with humans. That is why naanay kay clinical trials with selected final vaccine candidates. So mo na nga nangutanan anto pangutana dayon nga kanang katong sa COVID ba. O na mati mga last year natoy anti-vax. Mga nakoy amigo nga anti-vax siya. Siya ngano ko nung dinalian ng pag-develop sa vaccine. Actually, ang kanang COVID, kanang coronavirus nga mga family, okay? Known na siya since the year 2000. Okay? Known na siya since the year 2000. So, naanay mga stages. So, say for example, here, dan na sila din hinga mga stages. Only that during the time nga ni kuan ang corona vaccine, ni pour in line because this is actually requiring lots and lots of funds. Mga kwarta kay mahal kay ni mga molecular diagnostics nga mga experiments. So, pag COVID, daghan kayong funds, mga government nang kuan sa funds, nang donate aron mo speed up kung unsa ang vaccine. That's why ni develop ng vaccines and there are more mas speedy ang iyahang pag-produce sa vaccine. Okay? And thanks to vaccine, dili na ta mag problema kung hutuyon ta karong panahon na. Sa una kung huton magpugong-pugong, di ba? Katong pagkasagsagan gyud sa pag-pandemic, maikog gyud ka, pugong-pugong gyud ka, muhutoy baka or dili, di ba? Pero karon hutoy, may nga COVID na pero di na kay ka matingala because you are confident that your body has developed immunity. Okay, thanks to vaccine, of course. Okay, so production of recombinant hepatitis V. So this is another process or another diagram on how biotechnology plays a significant part in vaccine development. Okay, so say for example, nakay hepatitis B virus. Okay, so gi-isolate nimo just a little kaning portion nga kaning makaproduce og antigen. Okay, mo na HB antigen producing genes. So gi-isolate nimo, di ba? Kata ato ang restriction enzymes, mga endonucleases. Here comes your bacterial DNA, ang plasmid na pod. So always remember nga sa recombinant DNA technology, sa biotechnology, bioengineering, ang pinaka-star gyud ana plasmid DNA kay gamay ra siya and then daghan kay kag ma-insert. So gikuhaan nimo og kuan, di ba? Sa katong restriction enzyme. So kung unsa nga enzyme nakakat ani, mao po imong makakat dire. Okay? So since nga parehas na sila restriction enzyme, so match ang ilahang sticky end. So nagmatch siya din ha, gi-insert din ha sa recombinant yeast cell. Take note from bacteria, from viruses, another type of cell pwede na nimong ikuan din ha. And then na kay fermentation tank, padaghano nimo ang yeast, fermentation tank. And then in the fermentation tank here, the fermentation tank, ang imong mga antigen nga ni produce kay ni interact naman siya kaning pula, di ba? So ni interact naman na siya. So ni produce siya antigen. So what happened here, if naka-produce na siya antigen, then pwede na nimo ma-extract and then mao ni i-inject to neutralize this Hep B virus. Okay? So inana siya. So that's the production of recombinant hepatitis B virus. What else? Human insulin. So before luoyin tan si Piggy kay ang human insulin is produced ang insulin nga gin-inject sa mga diabetic nga mga patients is gikan sa pancreas sa mga pig. So you can just imagine pila ka mga pigs ang pang-ihawon aron i-isolate ang insulin, pig insulin. So dili kaayo siya effective sa humans kay humans man ta, di ba? So what happened because of biotechnology, the same, okay, the same makita nimo din nga the same ra gyud ang iyang process. Okay, so cells, human pancreatic cells, so this time instead of viral nga gene Okay? Human pancreatic cell, gi-extract na ang human insulin, the same bacterium, gikuha din na, gibutang recombinant bacterium, gibutang sa fermentation tank, naka human insulin, gi-harvest ang human insulin, mo na gina-inject karon. So mas effective siya, it is because humans naman siya, di naman siya pig. So mo na nga na-happy si piggy. Okay? So what about the other application of biotechnology? So you have the animal breeding and the horticulture. So here sa dog breeds, 'di ba? There are lots and lots of dog breeds around the world. I don't know, pila ka box, siguro mga more than 100. Okay? So if tagaan ko ninyo og iro, then dili kay ko modawat ana kay I'm not really good in taking care of dogs and cats. Isda inoon nga kanang pang-aquarium kana siya, masarang na siya. Pero kung nakoy dog, I would love to have a beagle. Mao gina ko ang dream, beagle. So dog breeds man na siya. And then by the way, in the Philippines na atay own breed kanang dili askal, ang askal sagol-sagol, but kanang genuine nga breed. Familiar mo siguro mo sa katong Philippine witch dog. O kana siya, i-search na niyo Philippine witch dog. So gina-fight na nila nga it would be the Philippines first nga native dog. Okay? Kay kanang mga dogs nato nga makita kuan na sila, mga sagol-sagol na sila. Okay, what else? That's animal breeding, di ba? So what else sa kanang mga animal breeding nga mga kuan, kanang horses, di ba? Dito po natan-awon mga horses. What else? Rabbits. Mga guinea pigs. Kana siya. So they're actually that's actually biotechnology in the making. Okay? So what else? Mga iring. What about horticulture o mga plantitas o mga plantitos? We know nga na rose. Pero there are more than 500 different varieties of rose. So ang mga breeders ana mangita slag unsay nindot nga varieties na nagani mga kinaani. Okay? So ana siya. And then there are still also other applications that you can think of. And in conclusion, since time immemorial, biotechnology greatly advanced the life of different societies and civilizations. Di yun na nimo malalis. Okay? Some biotechnology methods are used for recreational purposes, just like what we have recently mentioned. And take note that the benefits far outweigh the dangers. So that's my opinion, ha. And you can also derive your own opinion. And as our society progresses and as science progresses, we can still expect more advances in the future. Okay? So kana siya. So mao na din ni end ang ato ang lecture. Okay. So that ends. Okay? Ni end na ang ato ang lesson. So that already covered the three subtopics sa katong agricultural, medical, and environmental biotechnology. Okay? So I hope you learned something sa atong session karon. If you have any question, do not hesitate to contact me, to put on your comments and suggestions. Okay, so daghang salamat and have a nice day. Enjoy your day and God bless. Bye-bye.